What up, it's Casper. Today's video, we're talking about the movie Saw 3, so let's get it. Saw 3 is a 2006 movie. It's rated R and it's an hour and 48 minutes. Directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. He was director for the second one. It's cool to see him back on board on the third one. The way Saw 3 starts, you see Detective Matthews from the second one. I was watching it, I'm like, oh, okay, so we're continuing on from the second one right away, because the second one left me kind of like in a this probably happened to that character. So now we see that happen. He's not even in the movie that long. We're just seeing what happened to him through flashback scenes, because when the movie started, like, are we gonna follow along with the detective again? But we don't. The flow of this movie, for it being the longest one, at times in the beginning for me, I feel like it was a little bit of a drag. Bahar Sumik, who plays Lynn, I feel like there was moments in there where the way the projection was a little stale and there wasn't feeling the moment too much. With Jigsaw at times was just a little bit off. I feel like the connection between Shawnee Smith, who's back, who plays Amanda, I thought that was more of that consistent flow. The acting between them, Amanda and Jigsaw, was more believable than Lynn and Jigsaw. The lines were cool, it's just like the way her facial expressions would look wasn't too believable. Could have been a little bit sharper. You're still getting the feel of the whole Saw thing. They're actually trying to step it up and be a little bit more creative, which is showing more how the body can just be twisted, and we're seeing like the brain in here, the head, the skull. It does get pretty graphic and gruesome. You're just looking at it, it's like, whoa, that's pretty nasty. But shooting this movie in chronological order, Lynn, it just didn't add up enough time to fill that character. I feel like with Tobin Bell and Jigsaw, Amanda, and everybody else, I feel like they just were just comfortable or had time to fill that character to make it feel more mutual and more believable, like a relationship was actually there. So Jigsaw was cool, Amanda was good. Another character named Jeff, his presentation fit for what it was. It did give that, all right, we're on Saw 3 now, and it was just like a character we didn't see from the other movies. A new character just brought on, and that's the feel I got with him. The lines throughout the movie just get better. The beginning of the movie was a little bit slow, but towards the middle and towards the end, that's where it starts to just kick off. A lot of the lines for Jigsaw and Amanda start to pop off, and you see how their more involvement is very sneaky, and then their involvement is very creative with the lines. This movie Saw just makes you kind of wait till the end to see where all these characters messed up. Good on just showing that these characters are just under a lot of pressure. Towards the end, all that action, I would say, all the excitement, all the anxiety buildup is just all there at once. The end towards the movie ends up pulling it off really well, and I really did like how the last half of the movie was flowing. Great lines, the editing was good, the blood was dope. So this movie is very good at hopping here and hopping there, but the movie doesn't go to too many places. Also, this movie doesn't really involve the detective work and the police, even though that's like there because we're still in this universe. More focused on like seeing Jigsaw on the screen. That was dope to see him executing more lines and then seeing what's going on with him. More screen time was very effective. It was a clean, good look, because you know that this guy right here is very good with his words, very smart on responses. So you just want to continue to see what else is this dude's gonna say. So Jigsaw performance on just being more screen time was dope. Amanda in here, a shocker, because I'm like, Amanda's now just a regular now. But we're seeing a lot of like trickiness that we probably didn't or should have caught in the other movies. But this movie right here with the other characters, I was like, yo, that's crazy how they're just involving them more. We're in the third one, so it's not a drag. The story still continues. The story in this Saw world still feels big, interesting, and sometimes you yourself has to put the puzzle pieces together to figure out what's going on. The overall feel is still there. Just the beginning half of the movie for me was just a little too slow, but the second half ends up pulling it off and makes me forget about the first half being kind of just slow. You can tell with each one, they're just trying to do something more effective. This one right here, they're showing Jigsaw's brain and his skull, and I was like, yo, that's absolutely insane. Get more creative with some of the kills in here. The traps are getting more creative, but with the traps you're seeing more visually stuff. You're seeing skin being ripped out, arms, body, torso being twisted up. Very graphic and very intense. Another feel that I got for this movie, I'm like, all right, are we gonna see Jigsaw and Amanda reveal that they were probably in a relationship? But at the end of it, Jigsaw is still playing his game and Amanda was just being tested. So in my opinion, that was creative to involve her still, and her being in the third one. I feel like watching the first one and second one would make more sense to see those to watch the third one. When you watch the first two, you can see where the more focus and perspective are. This one right here, the more perspective was definitely on seeing Amanda, Jeff, Lynn, and Jigsaw in their own world, so we're not focusing too much like on law enforcement that much, even though they are brought up in this movie, but they're just not for a very long time. Well done on the makeup department, well done on just the graphics and the looks. So the camera direction in this movie is still good, and you can tell that from Saw 2 they just had to continue on with this momentum. That's how I felt with Saw 3. All the tests that John aka Jigsaw gives to everybody is still on point. Everything is brutal. Very insane to see that Amanda is an apprentice to Jigsaw now. Crazy line perspective, how you just might see a twist and turn in here. While this whole production of Saw 3 is going on, there is a lot of things just being added to the scripts. That's why I believe the movie was filmed in order, because the script was being changed so much. Also, I learned about the movie is just knowing that this was supposed to be the last movie of the series. It was supposed to wrap up the story with Amanda and John. So that's why this movie kind of gave me a feel like, were they in a relationship a little bit? The behind the scenes stuff made this movie into what it was. You could see a lot of people's dedication were actually really involved with here. You know, the props were crazy. Seeing the pigs was insane. Seeing those guts, seeing the whole setting of the just where these people are being tested at looks crazy. Being creative with the practical effects, props, the blood. I would expect it on like maybe an NC-17, but dang, the rated R, they actually, you know, we're testing that meter for sure. So that's what I really think about the movie. Everything else still has that flow, and I still think it's a good time to watch. Hopefully Saw 4 doesn't get worse. After my watching Saw 3 out of 10, I'm gonna have to give it a 8 out of 10. That's my movie review for the movie Saw 3. Shout out to you guys for tuning into the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.